Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're fine and doing well. In today's video, I would be talking about reverse auction. The agenda items include the basics of reverse auction, the qualification criteria to determine if reverse auction should be used, some of the key benefits of using reverse auction, some of the red flags that companies need to be aware of when using reverse auction, and towards the end, I would share some spends where reverse auction can be used. So let's get started. In a typical auction, there are multiple buyers and a single seller. The buyers compete amongst themselves, and the buyer with the highest bid gets what is on offer. In reverse auction, there is a 188 degrees shift. There are multiple sellers and a single buyer. The sellers compete amongst themselves, and the seller with the lowest bid gets what is on offer. In a typical auction, the participants compete to increase the price as the decision or the final outcome is based on the highest price, whereas in case of reverse auction, the participants compete to lower the price as the decision or the final outcome is based on the lowest price. Now I will talk about the qualification criteria which should be used to determine if reverse auction should be used to approach the market. Firstly, reverse auction should be used for fairly standardized or generic requirements only. It should not be considered for requirements that are subject to customizations or innovations. Secondly, there should be at least three participants to ensure fair competition, and the participants should have gone through a comprehensive due diligence process in which things like financial stability, ability to deliver, and compliance with regulations should be ensured. Thirdly, there is an underlying assumption that the goods or services that are being provided by the participants, they are exactly the same or at par with each other, and the final decision shall be made on the basis of price only. Now I will talk about some of the benefits of using reverse auction. Firstly, financial savings. It is like a writing on the wall. Participants compete to lower the price, and there's a possibility they might go below the cost price to win the contract. They use this as a strategy or a tactic to get entry into the business and get future contracts on the basis of relationship. Nonetheless, there are significant savings for the company. When I used to work as a sourcing specialist, I used reverse auction in a few instances. One of the instances I could recall is of a requirement related to personal protective equipment. I had to get some helmets, gloves, coveralls, and shoes. It was a fairly standardized requirement for which I invited three participants. The initial spend was around $10,000. After a fierce competition, the final spend was $7,000. So I was able to save $3,000 by conducting reverse auction. If I had used the traditional procurement cycle, at max I would have saved $1,500. So I was able to 2x the savings amount by using reverse auction versus the traditional procurement cycle. Another benefit of using reverse auction is lower turnaround time. So if you use reverse auction instead of traditional procurement cycle, you would skip four steps, namely the go-to-market strategy, tendering, evaluation, and negotiation. And once the process has been completed, you would jump directly to order award, and that is it. So when I used to fulfill requirements using traditional procurement cycle, it used to take me around 45 days to fulfill the requirement. However, when I used reverse auction, I was able to fulfill the requirement within 25 days. So I was able to save 20 days by using reverse auction instead of traditional procurement cycle. Another benefit associated and linked with this benefit is it is much more cheaper to conduct reverse auction versus traditional procurement cycle if we consider the administrative and transactional costs associated with using the traditional procurement cycle. Now I would talk about some of the red flags associated with reverse auction. Reverse auction by default is susceptible to collusion. There's a possibility that the participants strike a deal using the backdoor channel in which all potential gains are completely wiped out and there's literally no benefit for the company to conduct reverse auction. This is an inherent limitation and it is something that companies need to be aware of. Another red flag springs up when companies ignore the qualification criteria and proceed with reverse auction for requirements that do not solicit the use of reverse auction. A relevant example could be of a motor vehicle for which tires are required, and there are four brands in the market, namely Michelin, Pirelli, Bridgestone, and Dunlop. Reverse auction would work fine if you invite participants of a particular brand only. For instance, if you invite participants of Michelin only, of Pirelli only, of Bridgestone only, of Dunlop only. In such a scenario, reverse auction would work out. But it would not work out if you invite participants of all brands, because these brands are not equal, they are not at par, and reverse auction cannot be used in such a situation. So companies need to be very careful when they decide if reverse auction has to be used to fulfill a particular requirement. Towards the end, I would like to share some spends from my experience where reverse auction has been used to fulfill requirements. Number one, cement and bricks pertaining to construction. Number two, petroleum, oil, and lubricants. Number three, drinking water, office supplies, stationery, toners. Number four, freight transportation. And number five, custom clearing agents who are hired on commission basis for clearing import shipments. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked it. If you have used reverse auction in your organization, or if you have any questions related to reverse auction, please let me know in the comment section. And if you derived any value from the content, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. I will see you in the next video.